All right, sorry folks. We're trying to cast the match today between Holy Cross down south and CMHS Scato Magnet High School with the League of Legends opener for both our season due to some rescheduling that happened, we're going to be playing a dual round against Holy Cross today, as well as a round against Mandeville afterwards. So we will be going from there. I'm trying to figure out why it's not capturing the game right now and rather just capturing the whole screen. So I'm currently messing with that. Sorry for any delays on that. They're currently going through bans and figuring out which heroes or champions are going to be playing and which positions. So we see a few of these right here. So we will be back in just 1 second while I mess with some of the video settings. All right. Yeah. Okay, folks. Hopefully that shows y'all at least the screen for now, and then what'll happen is when the game starts up, we'll go over and flash over to the game capture. 1 second. I need to help a student. All right, folks, so we are now here with our delay from the spectator mode, and we are looking at the teams as they're getting set up on the base, and we are going to be going through and watching them. We've got a 13-second countdown. They are figuring out what they're doing. Hello. And going around. You'll have to excuse me, I've never tried to use the in-game spectator mode on this, nor have I played very much, so we're just kind of getting it figured out right now. So we're watching Legendary Skeleton and Rockstar on the opposing team go set up here down in the lane over there. And how can I swap between characters? No. I can follow individuals, I can do this. Okay, there's my map. So we can see over here that Mr. Octane and Mustard Fandango are getting an initial thing, but Octane is over there near a tower and trying to block it. There's a little bit of a harass there. We have Boss Destroyer over here near Sakota Bird up in top. And Nakoma is messing with that. And going through there. So they're looking for their CS. We have a bunch of people down here at one of the camps in order to kill those guys and get the buff. So there's Bonk and I Am Kale and Plinko for our team on CMHS. So CMHS is red and the opposing team, Holy Cross, is blue. So we have our first waves of creeps going in each of the lanes. And we have Mr. Octane there with already taking some hits from something. Looks like he may have harassed a tower a little bit. So we have Sakota and we have Boss Destroyer there. And so they're trying to get some CS off of these guys. Trying to see what we got going for us here. So we got a couple of creeps down there. They're trying to last hit a few things there. We got a bit of a harass there from Mustard Fandango. Did they take that camp? So Bonk is working on the camp, being the jungler for the team. Down here, we have I Am Kale and Plinko trying to be sure that the creeps don't hit over on our tower too much. We've got Legendary Skeleton and Rockstar kind of backing him up. So we have our kind of support and our bot there. Looks like Skeleton's a little bit low. They're probably going to back off and wait for the harass and kind of pick that up. They got a little bit of economy going on there. We got their jungler over here on... So Breakaway Gore is killing that, barely made it, but was able to go there and is channeling back to base to heal up and do some purchasing probably. So we've got this. So we've got Bonk over here taking a camp up here in the mid. Which buff is he going for? That would be a great question if I knew. Or had an assistant caster here for me. So there he's going. So we have Boss Destroyer over here with Sakota, and Sakota is backing off a little bit and letting him take some of the CS there. I'm not sure how well that's going to go, but it looks like Boss Destroyer is backing off the top, and so the tower doesn't kill him. Yeah. Okay, so Mustard Fandango down here did a bit of a harass, got a little bit of credit, and is now backing off because they see that they're all full, but their mana's higher than Octane, so we'll see how that goes. Down here, we have Plinko and I Am Kale doing a little bit of harass into enemy territory, getting some of that creep score up, and almost killing Rockstar, but he's got his back up with Legendary Skeleton coming in back in. That was a close attack there, but it wouldn't have killed him anyway. He could have backed off a little bit, but it would have required more healing and time. So, how is this going up here? So, Sakota and Bonk are trying to kill off Boss Destroyer. Will they make it? Are they going to get hit by the tower? He made it, so he lives for now, and they got to go back and heal up and regroup. So, oh, he's teleporting out of there too. So over here, we've got Mr. Octane fighting Bonk. So major advantage for Octane, but Bonk is highly leveled because of all of his jungling. But it looks like we've got a wandering creature here that's going to go and do stuff. Bonk is running low. That was pretty risky for Bonk, but Fandango was in there on the background to help him out. So over here in the bot, we have Plinko, who's really low right now, and we got 3 people down here, but we really want to kill Rocco, so I don't know. They got him pretty low down there, but that's 3 versus 2 with a low person. Will they be able to do it? Well, Legendary Skeleton is attacked a bit too far. That's a deep harass. Will we make it? I got Legendary Skeleton. Good. So now Rocco is a lot more vulnerable, but so is Plinko. So we'll see if they go in for the double kill. Will they get him? No. Rocco's too much without Kale backing him up. So they're going for individual harass. There we go. So we got a double there. So 2 there. So we got 2 kills. on that. So we got our Teemo going back, so Sakota. So here we go with Mustard Fandango, but they're right near the tower, so Octane's probably going to back off and survive that one while getting some CS and some economy going. So there we go with Sakota, back up to full, and their Boss Destroyer is getting all kinds of free creeps over there. So Bonk is back full up, getting one of these camps, help him out. No damage on the towers on any of the teams right now. Let's see. Well, there's a little bit on top. What about us? Our towers all seem to be healthy too, so we're good so far on towers. But we've got at least a couple of kills, a little bit of economy going. Mustard Fandango should probably go in and help with Mr. Octane a little bit. Got a ward down here in the mid. So there's breakaway. Is Bonk going to let him go? Nope. Bonk's going to harass the tar out of him. Oh, but it looks like their jungler and our jungler are going at it, but with a 75% health for their jungler, he's choosing to back off on that fight. What about down bot? Down bot, they're pushing really hard. Guys, what are y'all doing? Stop it. Get out. Okay.
Oh, I was not paying attention, my bad.
Anyway. All right, back to what we were talking about. So we've got Rocco down here, again, low on there. The push kind of went back. Bonk is stealing some of their camps now. How very, not very advantageous. It looks like they're going to probably notice in a moment and then try and back them up. Let's see. Will they get it first? Good. He was able to kill that off. We got a little bit of their tower down. Fandango is doing pretty good there. What's going on up here? Sakota is lower. Boss Destroyer's at half, but will Sakota as Teemo be able to manage? We're doing a little bit of harass there. Doing pretty well. Looks like Boss Destroyer's backing off on that engage.
Oh, yeah. Single, yeah.
So we have managed to slay one of the drags, getting that buff, killing off some of these other creeps, getting some of these other pieces parts. So now we've got a substantive buff on our characters, which will help us kill off several other things. So let's see what that's doing for the attack down south. It looks like Rocco Rockstar is backing up, and they leveled up over here. That's cool. So we're kind of beating them on a couple of things there. So if we look at overall levels, our team has managed to get a few higher levels due to all the camps and things that our jungler has gotten, and managed to do that. We've got... So there's Teemo up there, and there's Boss Destroyer. So we got a little bit more damage on the tower.
You don't like it, mom. Hey, wait.
So it looks like our team is going to go on and start attacking bot tower. Oh, well, they backed off. Okay. Looks like they could have done a little bit better with the timing of killing the drag and then using that buff in order to go and do some more damage over there. That was not a well-planned attack. So we've got... Who was channeling over there? Oh, it was Bonk. Okay. So Bonk was in our jungle and managed to go back to base. Sakota's over here attacking this stuff. Taking a little bit of health damage, but that's okay. Boss Destroyer's just kind of hanging out. Looks like they may be mining the place. So Bonk is going for another camp over here. Heavily focused on leveling for Bonk. He's currently level 7, but he's got some other things there, so he's going to go for this other camp. So they're going to come down here and see Rocco and Legendary Skeleton. They're substantively higher level than Skeleton. There, you got a level on them. But they're backing off. They're not doing too deep of an engage. So, oh. Buster Fandango took out one of their characters. Well, two of them. Okay. So we got 2 champs down on their side. So now they're going to probably might try and go for a team wipe. Maybe go down to bot and wipe out their folks. Or are they just going to go for tower? What is our jungler doing? Yeah, so they're going for mid tower. While they're pushing, boss destroyers are pushing up into ours. The Rift Herald. Oh, okay. So we've got one of the things that we killed attacking into the tower. Looks like that tower is about to fall. They got 3 of their kids, 3 of their champs over here. Trying to defend it. And they were able to defend it, but they lost 75% of the health on mid tower. Looks like our team is going to back off a little bit while they go around. So their top left laner is definitely kind of controlling the top lane away from our folks. Managing okay. Oh, he's going for an attack on the tower. God, their top is level 9. That's impressive. What have we got on here? Buster Fandango. Bong took another camp. We got Plinko down here who killed a couple of folks. Oh. So we got Bonk in the jungle. Got Sakota trying to back off Legendary Destroyer, but not quite enough damage. They've mined around them, but they're not quite hitting those mines the way that we would like. So there's I Am Kale and Plinko down here attacking tower and attacking some of these people. Buster Fandango just picked up a death on one of the teams mid on Breakaway Gore.
I'm playing incredible right now.
So here we go. They're attacking Drag again to get that buff. So Buster Fandango and Bonker over here attacking Drag. While we have them distracted down bot with I Am Kale and Plinko. They're waiting for... Oh, so their whole team is back up, but Rocco Rockstar is not dead. And then we slayed Drag, so we have that buff. Now they're going to probably try and push into one of the locations there. Oh, he's going to slay another thing. So we're going to push into tower, it looks like on mid. We got a double up here on the top, and then Sakota is going to try and block him. A triple. Okay, they're going for a top attack against Sakota. So they got 3 players up here versus our 1. So they're going to probably be trying to do a lot of damage to the top lane. It looks like down on bot, we are backing off a little bit, but we got about 70% of that health down. Tower's about to go down on mid. So that'll give us an access point to go through the first turret. So it looks like they pretty successfully got rid of the harass up top, and during that we got rid of that mid tower. So now it looks like they're pushing a little bit of bot, but then our jungler is going to come in and help out with doing some damage over here. So we've got Rocco Rockstar probably about to go down again. And then we got, yep, another kill for Bonk. So they're going to be frozen the towers. Looks like. Got a lot of action going down bot. So we've got Plinko, I Am Kale, and Bonk over here trying to put a little bit of press into the tower to get both of those towers down so our creeps can get a bit farther in and we can start harassing closer to base. Which looks like it's about to succeed. Oh, Bonk's going in real deep. Gonna try and do the kill on that one. and then hide behind the grass over there.
If I got a reset from it, that would have been a double reset.
And we did have a death on ours. I am Kale was killed. And we got them going through bot tower, or bot turret. And then up here up top. So top is the last lane with the tower or last lane with the turret on their side. And then we're going to go over there. Just 1 second, I have a student. All right, and we're back. So Bonk is over here going for the golem, and it looks like Breakaway is going for a camp. The launch. So Breakaway got the camp, but is very low and is being chased by Mustard Fandango. Will they make it back into their own territory, especially with their tower down over there? Oh, we got a pincer. Oh, Mr. Octane and Fandango. So close from Mr. Mustard Fandango. Oh, there it goes. Plinko got it. No, no, they didn't get the one that I was thinking. So right now we're seeing our overall levels about a level or two ahead of them, with our economy a little bit higher. Double the money. So at this point it's kind of, they're on the back foot, but they can probably come back a little bit if they get in there. There's a bunch of bounties on some of the players that they got for killing Plinko earlier and a few others. So we'll see how it kind of goes. So Bonk looks like he's going to go over Boss Destroyer down here in mid because Boss is out of lane. Oh, Breakaway Wagon or Breakaway Gore is also in a rough position. It looks like they're going to kill 3 in a row. Yes. Okay. So that shoves us a couple of levels ahead of their team now on each of the characters. So they're going back. Oh, I missed IMKO killing skeleton. They're doing some damage to tower too. They're gonna have to back off pretty soon because looks like Plinko's going behind tower. Dangerous game, Plinko. So it looks like they're really trying to kill Rocco. Oh, Rocco hopped over into the jungle. Got the chase going on. Now we got both of our bots out of position. Going for this one kill. Will it be worth it? Maybe. So let's see. How are we doing up here? Bonk's over here in the jungle again. Getting some vision. We've summoned a Rift Herald. Oh, we summoned a Rift Herald where Bonk is, so they're attacking the tower where they've got this, and we got another turret destroyed, so now Top's turret is gone, so they're back to the secondary line of defense. So we're going to kill off a couple more of their characters, and at this point there's a very substantive difference in level. Boss Destroyer being one of the highest on their team, but probably about to die himself. Yes. And then they're going to start going through and hitting those interior towers. Looks like our jungler is going to take a camp, and then we're pushing this bot tower to 50% already. Their other tower is 75, and then the top tower is back to, well, so the secondary tower is at 100. So at this point, with the level of damage being done and the level gap, it's going to be really hard for the other team to come back from this one up in this first match of the season for them. So it looks like bottom turret is down to core. So they're into their main base now. So for the push, looks like I missed the middle turret down here in the so the mid is also to turret and the core. Bye Tyrone, have a good one. And we have, so top still has their secondary turret, but is not down to core. Looks like Plinko got murdered with an extra 600 gold there, jumping them up by almost 3k. Okay, I'm trying to cast something. So and so we actually won the game. I didn't get to see the core destruction, but that was a thing. It just did, so I'm assuming yes.
But that's what the guy was easy.
That is the wrong window. I need this one. I need this one. Yes. Okay. So there's that guy. So now we're going to swap over here. I need to do some coach talk. So I'll be right back in a moment, folks, for our second game versus Holy Cross. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that is Cato Magnet having taken the first in the set of 2 against Holy Cross. We're getting set up for the second match. I'm told that in order to be able to finish watching the match, I need to be able to spectate it from the thing rather than show the bands. So once we get in, we'll look at the bands that they do and how that works. So we'll kind of go from there and see what we see. So as you saw in the first one, we were able to pull off the thing, and we were able to pull off the win, and then we'll see if the second one goes any different. So in this one, we'll be swapping out. That was bot, right? Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So I actually do have an assistant. You're kicking me out of So we are figuring it out, ladies and gentlemen, but right now I've got an assistant, and so this is my assistant, and his name is?
Carson.
Yes, and he was the bot in the previous match, right?
Support.
No, support, excuse me. So he was the support in the previous match, and one of our other players got home, so we are going to have him help me explain things, because I have literally never played this game except for the practice match that I had to do in order to get my account. So we're going to see that happening, and then ultimately we're going to be watching the game, but I'm told that in order to be able to stream everything, we're going to be spectating from the menu rather than from the actual internal in-game spectation. So we'll see that and go from there. So hopefully everything goes well, and we'll go and do what we need to do. Oh, can somebody help him with the door? So I'm assuming they're still doing dance. Oh, I got some messages from people. Okay. So what is this? Are these things I'm supposed to do?
Yeah, those are missions.
Okay, so those are missions for the season that I'm not going to do.
Yeah.
All right. What do we have in exclamation?
That's just
game disconnection. Okay. Okay. Grab stool if you want. Okay. So let's see what we got. So what was happening last time? Can you help me explain it a bit better? So I was calling them towers, but they're actually turrets.
Yeah.
Okay, so so there's the middle row that y'all had, then y'all went back to the ones at base, and then I'm assuming y'all killed the ones at base and went in and destroyed core.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was noticing that on top, Sakota was a little bit of a lower level on Teemo than the opposing character up there. It wasn't I Am Gore. It was oh, what was his name? Let's see. Can we get in? And so I can see. Not yet. So what was happening in there? So you were down there on bottom with Plinko, right?
I'm Plinko.
So okay. So you were Plinko, and then so you were down there on bot with who was our other character?
I am KO.
I Am KO, right? And doing a pretty good job down there of kind of shutting that down and killing I Am Rocco and the other person, Skeleton, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when y'all were moving around there, like what was kind of the game plan? Because y'all like the last tower was kind of top tower. Was that intentional, or was that something the other team was doing?
I think it was something that the other team was doing. In bot, we were mainly just what I was mainly worried about was getting around the minions, so that way my skill shots would land on the opponents.
Gotcha, but don't you need to kill the minions in order to get, like, I believe it's called CS, creep score, in order to kind of purchase stuff?
Yeah, that's the job of the ADC.
Okay, so that's your ADC, so your job as support is to make sure the ADC doesn't go down, yeah?
Yeah, my job is to, like, damage them and get them in kill range for the ADC.
Okay. So just be sure that they can do that. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So and then yeah, so typically the game there went up to mid. I'm still not getting spectated.
Okay, also, Mr. Mike, if you hit spectate, that's gonna put you, like, it's gonna catch you up. You're gonna have to rewind to the beginning of the game. It'll be at the bottom.
Oh, okay. So, it seemed like it went through mid at first, and then y'all went bot, then y'all went top in terms of what the levels of destruction for the turrets. So, what was, is that pretty typical for a game?
That's fairly typical.
Okay. So I noticed that about a third of the way through jungling, our jungler kind of started hopping into their camps and stealing their stuff. So on the buffs for that, how does that work? Are they unique buffs per side, or are they the same buffs?
They're the same buffs per side. The reason you do that is so the other team cannot get those buffs. And it's just a good strategy to have.
Gotcha. So at certain points, it said that you summoned the Rift Guardian. When you did that, was that from killing a specific camp and then getting an access to that, or is that something y'all purchased?
That's one of the specific camps. It's called Rift Herald, and what it does is after you kill it in the camp, you get the Eye of the Herald, and you can crush that in any lane, and it spawns a miniature version of the Rift Herald in the lane. And what it can do is it can charge the turret and do a ton of damage.
Gotcha. So, I mean, because it did like 50% of the health of the turret in mid, and then took out the turret in top when y'all did that. So that was pretty impressive. Although their character or their champ up there definitely tried to block that from happening for as long as he could, but he wasn't able to block it the whole time. And it was pretty interesting. So, what about drag? What is the buff from drag?
It varies based on the kind.
Okay, so does it rotate in what's in what's in there? That's like after you kill one, is there a rotation to it, or
Yeah.
So is the first one like an attack boost?
I don't know the specifics of it. I just know that they're all pretty good.
Okay, so I noticed that we didn't really have a lot of coordination with when we. And that's not what I need. I need spectate. Give me spectate game. Boo. Okay. So, all right. So, in general, I noticed that it seemed like as we were kind of waiting till about level 4 or 5 before we really started doing any serious engagements. Is that normally how a game runs on that?
Yeah, because you can only really level up your skills. The first 3 levels are you just getting access to your skills, and past that, you could actually like start leveling them up and you start scaling. And then at level 6, you get your ultimate, which is like your main damage deal.
Gotcha. So I noticed that toward the end we had about 2 to 4 levels, depending on the character, over them. At what point is the level really a dictator of how well lopsided the game is? Like, is a 3-gap level? As long as you hit level 6, or as long as you're at level 6, what do the next levels do for you? Does that make sense? Like, because we were level 12 and several of them were level 8. Like, so did that give us a proportional major advantage, or was that only a partial advantage? Does that make sense?
Kind of. The difference between level 12 and level 8, at level 11 you get a second bonus to your ult. So a level 12 going against level 8 has an extra point in their ult and their regular abilities, so they're able to do more damage.
1 second. It looks like the custom game is not open to spectators. Guys, it says the custom game is not open to spectators.
I have 140 gold.
That's a them issue.
Okay, well, poop. All right, it's probably a setting thing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to be able to, looks like, watch this one because when we got out, we thought we could do a thing from the menu, but we cannot, so we can't actually watch this. So in the meantime, I guess we can continue giving a little bit of a play-by-play from the previous match. Sorry about that. Like I said, this is our first attempt at streaming League, so definitely interesting. So, what was our team comp last time? What champs did we pick, and how does that play together in playoff? So I noticed Sakota was Teemo.
Yeah.
And then what was the mounted beast thing that Bonk was on?
That was Sejuani.
Sejuani. Okay. So is that usually a jungler?
Yes.
Okay. So do the champions themselves have specific roles that they usually fulfill, or can you pick them for any of the roles in the team?
They usually have specific roles that they go in because that players have figured out. And it's very like this champ goes here, but there are the occasional champs that are like you can go here or here.
Fair enough. So like there's some that can have dual role, but most of them are mono rolled champs. So when you say a champ, most people will know what that is. But my God, there's like 230 champions, is there not? So you know, like there's a pretty big pool of things to deal with there.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting. So I don't know. We'll have to play with it and kind of see how it goes along. But so you were playing a tentacle creature, like a giant floaty tentacle thing. What was that?
That was Vel'Koz.
Vel'Koz. Okay. And so, as a support, does he just have a lot of extra range, or what does he do?
Yeah, the support usually has a lot of range in order to poke the other team and get them lower.
Gotcha. So to harass them until their health is at a point where your ADC can just go in and wreck.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes sense. And then, so I mean, as a support player, did you have to wander between the lanes because you were mostly hanging out in bot? Is that kind of where you stay, or do you can you go between to help? Because when I think support, I usually think healing, but in this case, it looks like they were buffs and also harasses that let them kind of pick you up down there.
Yeah, the typical support will usually have a little bit of healing mixed in with their kit. However, Vel'Koz does not have any healing.
Oh, okay.
He's mainly just like an attack support.
Okay. So like a DPS support?
Yeah.
Interesting. So that's, I don't know, the idea of support and how they run the things is always interesting. So are you able to give out buffs to your ADC, or is it just the attack phase?
Vel'Koz cannot.
Okay. So, but there are some support heroes who do.
Yeah.
So how would you classify some of the support heroes? So we have healing, we've got like buffs, we've got you've got Vel'Koz, which was more of an attack based one. Are there any other types of support?
There's a tank support, which what they like to do is they like to go in front of the ADC. They're usually melee champions, and they just take the brunt of the damage so the ADC can survive and get their attacks off.
Gotcha. So they're more of just soak everything up, so you can pick a more what would be the term, like a more fragile or glass cannon-y ADC until they get highly leveled.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Works out. And then so at that point, if you're the tankier melee in front of them, I would assume that teleporting back to base is more important in that case, right? For being able to heal.
Yeah. There is an item called a potion that you can use to sustain your HP while in lane.
Gotcha, but I mean, I imagine that takes coins that you'd rather be spending on items, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I really don't know much about, but I know the terms from having dealt with some of the team and watching y'all and hearing others play is, so I noticed that there was a couple of things, they were either like wards or totems or something that were put down in the middle of the map.
Yeah.
Whose job is usually to put down the wards or the totems?
In bot lane, it's usually the support's job to put down the wards.
What do wards do?
They give vision across the map.
Gotcha. So they just help you.
Words dispel the fog of war.
Play game, child. We're just communicating because I can't watch.
Absent-mindedly lane.
Sorry, that was one of our players answering our question. If you could hear it, audience. So the wards give you vision. So are there totems, or are they specific heroes that have totems, or what?
Every character starts with wards.
But can you purchase more?
Yeah, they refresh after I think it's a minute and a half. You get a new one.
Gotcha. So every minute and a half you get new ones, and so you start off with a number, say 3 or 1 or 2 or something, and you can plop them down. And then how long do they last on the field?
They last 90 seconds, and I think I don't know the specific number as to how long they take to come back.
Gotcha. So it's not something you can keep up permanently, but something that you can definitely have up for a good period of time to help people with vision in certain regions. So when you have the grasses and stuff that kind of obstruct vision, will they see through that, or do you have to have them inside the ring of the grass?
You have to have them inside the bush.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So let's see. So we talked about wards. What other specific roles and stuff should we know about going forward, and should families and parents know?
We could talk about jungle.
Okay, so with jungling, I know we take camps and then we take the bosses and stuff in order to get buffs or in order to get the summon boss, like we're talking about with the Rift Guardian. What else do we want to talk about there?
We could talk about ganking.
Okay, what is that? So when you say ganking, what do you mean?
Ganking is something that the jungler does where they go into a lane to help and kill the enemy laner.
Oh, gotcha. So like when you were on bot and then Bonk came in and then helped you like kill the one guy by throwing one of his I guess his ult or something at it, and then y'all were able to kill off the other two, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically just as an extra person in a lane for a 2v1 versus the other team.
Yeah.
Or a 3v2 in that case, as it was. Okay. So, all right. So, I don't know. I noticed in that round that our jungler didn't actually, like their level wasn't, I thought part of the thing with the jungler was that they were just a substantively higher level. But is it economy that you focus on? Or like what would it be there? Because like their level was about the same as y'all down in bot lane for that.
The jungler, I think like the main like the level scaling is usually top, then mid, and then jungle's somewhere near there, and then bot and support are always the lowest because they're sharing experience.
Really interesting. Because like in our match, Sakota was actually one of the lower ones up on top, whereas y'all were a bit higher. Because y'all were like level 11 or 12, and then okay, so we had a bit of a reversal of experience there. So that's something that we can definitely to call out in other matches or streams, right?
Yeah.
Like when we start seeing that when things are running away down there. Interesting. So I wonder if that's because they had parked that one really high level character up there on top to try and shut down top a little bit. Did you like?
Maybe.
That guy was their highest level on the whole team, was their top character.
Yeah.
But that's not actually abnormal. That was just interesting. So, okay. So in terms of jungling, right? So while we're talking about the roles, so they were going through, and so you start off with the smaller camps, and then you move up to the big uber bosses and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of capped off at like level 6 or 7 with drag, is what I saw. So is drag kind of the ultimate big bad that we have to kill in order to get the bonus?
Yeah.
Okay. So talk to me. I saw the little herd of small dudes. I saw the big rock dude. I saw the drag, and then I saw the I'm gonna call him a little mollusk dude. That was probably the Rift Guardian. So what are the ones that are like the herds of little dudes? What do those get us?
They're mainly just CS for the jungler.
Okay, so they're just score for levels and stuff.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between CS and gold? Because I saw that y'all were getting gold for kills and damage to the opposing team as well, and then that they got an extra like 3,000 gold for killing somebody with a bounty on their head. So what does that mean?
So CS is just the amount of things that you've killed.
Okay.
I don't know what the acronym stands for.
Creep score, right?
I guess so.
From creeps in Dota. Makes sense.
And then gold, it's something that you like. It's like a passive generation, but you can get more of it if you kill something. Like killing something gives you both gold and CS.
Okay. Why? What does the CS get you anything else, or is it just a measure of death you've caused?
It's just a measure of death you've caused.
Interesting. But I guess it's a permanently going up thing.
Yeah.
So that way you can see overall, because you're going to spend your gold on upgrades, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Is there an order to upgrades, or is it specific to the characters?
The main thing that people run is for you buy your mythic, you buy your mythic first, and then your boots, and then after that it depends on the character.
So what is mythic?
The mythic, there's like a ton of them. It's some of the strongest items in the game.
So you save up for that rather than buying a bunch of small things? So is it super expensive, or does it level up with you or something?
It's very expensive, and it's the main part of every character's item set.
Gotcha. So like, give me an example of how long it would take for you to get to that. So by level 6, when you have your ultimate, can you buy your mythic?
Not typically.
Okay, so basically the in-game economy is kind of stalled until like level 10 or something, or when is a usual location for you to buy your mythic?
That's not something I pay attention to. It's just whenever you
have the money.
Yeah, whenever you have the
Okay.
money.
Because it seems to me like there would probably be a specific creep score where you would get them. It doesn't make sense, but I guess it also makes sense that timing because it gives you a little bit of gold every second or whatever.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. So basically you don't buy like any small upgrades until then.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Because like you would figure you would buy a couple of small things and then use those to kind of dominate early game and then pick up the big thing later. But if you save up for the big thing, I guess that makes more sense because it can help you get more economy later and then fill out the rest of the roster. So how many item slots do you have as a champ, or does it depend?
You have 6 per champ.
Okay. Fair enough. So what are they? Head, boots, greaves, something?
It's just There's not like any specific slot for the thing. It's just you have them.
Okay. So like if you have potions or if you have whatever, do they take up an item slot?
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't know if there was a specific like potion belt or something. Interesting. All right. Well, that'll help me a little bit out for that. So in terms of health, right, on there, there's a lot of times what do the health pips look like? Does that make sense? Because like as the characters were leveling up, I still saw a character at like 75% down their health bar, but 75% down a level 12 health bar is a very different bear from 75% down a level 8 health bar, right? So is there anything on there that can help us differentiate between who's winning and who's losing in that circumstance? Like, do they break it down into little pips or anything on there, or?
That I'm not sure about, but usually if someone's a higher level, they probably have a winning matchup. If they're around the same health.
Okay, so if they're around the same health at a winning matchup, but because I'm just trying to see, because like Oliver was taking, or excuse me, our jungler was taking a fight where he was about 35% health and they were like 50% health, but he was a level 12 and they were level 8, right? So when I saw that, I was like, ooh, we're at a disadvantage. But then thinking about it, in retrospect, it's like, well, he probably has a higher health pool at that level 12. Is there set stat upgrades, or is it like a continuous stat increase for health?
It's like a continuous stat upgrade.
Okay, so interesting. And so does that also affect damage output and everything else too?
Yeah.
But there is a major boost, you said at 12, wasn't it? Or was it 16? 11.
It was your ult upgrades at 6, 11, and 16, I think.
Okay. So what are some common levels? Like what do we see some of these matches go to?
Usually they'll be probably like 16 plus. It caps at 18.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so level cap is 18, so you might see level cap inside some of the rounds. Interesting. So is the game designed around hitting level cap before the end?
Yeah, that's a pretty good strategy to have.
Right. But I mean, like, when the designers were looking at the game, did they think that everybody was going to hit the level cap before they really started getting into too deep into the turrets?
I don't think so.
Okay, so they were probably expecting you to go like hit level 6 or 12, and then that's probably where those first 2 rows of turrets, but then back at base is probably when you hit the 18 and really guys start to steamroll.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting. So we're basically talking about a 4-level difference there, but do the levels exponentially increase in the amount of experience that you need?
I'm pretty sure that they do.
Okay. Interesting. Definitely something to play with. Bye, Mason. So, well, I am kind of out of questions. Anything else you want the audience to know, or you want me to know?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, we are probably going to cut this one and then create a new stream. Sorry, guys. We'll get the spectation and streaming of things set up eventually. We'll come back to it. Have a good one, and we'll see you for the next round where we're going up again.